Something about the games of love that you have to understand is that you're going to lose because everyone loses at the games of love. And there are various games of love, such as attraction, dating, relationships, committed relationships, marriage, family. All these are basically, think of them as, well, games of love. And in all of them, you're going to have to develop a better relationship with losing because everybody loses. And in a way, everybody wins too. I mean, there are going to be some losses and wins that go along everyone's path. And the thing is, some of us are trying to avoid that path too hard. And instead, we're just avoiding playing the games of love. We're sitting them out, and we're thinking that we're too intelligent, that we've got the best strategy, or that like in time things will work themselves out. There's some higher power that is at play right now, or whatever. But in essence, we're trying to avoid losing. And you can't do that in the games of love and win, or win very much, or win the good stuff, because you don't qualify for it. Like there's certain lessons and certain things that you sort of upgrade to with some losses. You develop some tough calluses, you learn some lessons, you develop a better awareness for a situation, you become better at relationships. I mean, shit, we can all recognize that, like we're better, in 10 years from 10 years ago, you know, if we were in a relationship, we'd be like, hey, I bring a whole lot more to the table. I've got my shit so much more together, in most cases, right? And that's the thing. That's that experience, and that experience often best comes from losses, from failed relationships, from making mistakes, from having things blow up in our face, from receiving that punishment and the pain of the loss and the failure, and just having something that we wanted or cared about or valued taken away from us, and we at some point were unable to do anything to get it back. It was a lost cause. It was lost forever. It was just not an option for us any longer. That shit's gonna happen to all of us. So whether you want to avoid loss in the attraction game, in the dating game, in the relationship game of any form, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to, if you're avoiding, talking or connecting with anyone attractive because you're nervous about, an interaction that, like, what will they think of me? Well, you're gonna have to take some losses, because even the most natural person has taken their fair share of L's, and you probably can't imagine how many losses and rejections, and how many times somebody maybe thought someone was not cute, not attractive, or that they were a jerk, or that they were a bitch, or that they were just too flirty and you can't take them seriously, or they were just whatever. People have thought all sorts of things, and these people that you're envious of, as if they don't lose, could probably tell you they've had all sorts of experiences like that. I mean, I have. I've had a fair share of people who have found me attractive and desirable, and a very fair share who have told me explicitly why I'm not, what my imperfections are, how, whatever. And you have to take that into the experiences if you want to play and experience not just the losses, but the wins in the games of love, which are what? Acceptance, new experiences, better experiences, maybe with someone that you're interested in sharing those experiences with. The attraction stuff, the feelings that come inside you, the connection that you develop with someone out of nowhere, and how that's exciting. Your first kiss, first time that you have sex with someone, the first time that you fall in love, or fall in love with that person. These are all experiences that people want to have, and they don't come without losses. And I mean, like, if we asked who wanted to have all those experiences I just listed, every last one of us would raise our hand, right? But here's the thing, not every one of us are playing the game to get those things. I mean, there's some of us that will say, like, I'm just putting in certain effort. There's some people that are putting in a lot more effort than others, and it doesn't mean that they're necessarily like the most gifted. It's just like shit. You got to work with what you got, and if you don't like what you got, you got to work on that so that you have a better total package to offer the world and the games of love. Because yeah, no shit, some things in the games of love are definitely stacking the odds in your favor or not in your favor as a male or female if you do or do not have certain qualities, either inherent or developed. And that's reality. You know, reality is people do have their preferences, and that's fine. You have your preferences. But if your preference is to avoid losses in the games of love, you're just as much taking a step to step away from all the positive experiences and rewards that you want. I mean, as I shared, there are so many different experiences that you could be like, that's winning, that's winning, that's winning, that's winning. You know, from the small sort of, that was a good interaction, that went well. I think they might like me. That spark of interest that you have in someone, and someone might have that in you. That's exciting. That's fun. That's new. That's an experience, and that's life, and that's living life rather than sitting it out. And I'm not saying that you just have to go and walk up to every last person that you're attracted to. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in general, reflect upon your experiences in the games of love, attraction, dating, relationships, and identify where you're, or try to identify at least. I mean, like, it's hard. Get some help if you need somebody to who knows you to give you some sort of thoughts on you on this topic. But you have to identify in what aspects of this game of love are you avoiding loss? Are you avoiding feeling failure? Are you avoiding feeling pain? Because loss, failure, pain is part of all the games of love. It's part of the games of life. And that's what holds so many of us back. And that's why I'll tell you, um, if you've grown up experiencing loss, it makes you stronger, I feel. Whether that loss is something personal, loss of life, loss of relationships, and I mean, it just builds you up. I mean, it tears you down, but also builds a strength in you just as much. And if you've been, in competitive environments where you grew up competitively wanting to win, whether that was sports or some sort of activity, where you have to invest effort, time, energy, and there's a risk it doesn't pay off. There's a risk that you go out on whatever day and play the game and you get your ass kicked and you look terrible. You get embarrassed. You feel ashamed of yourself. But there's also the possibility of success on the field, on the court, uh, and that experience of success and defeating an opponent, defeating some sort of enemy in life or love. I mean, that's, if you've had those sort of experiences, they shape you to be competitive and to pursue winning, and understanding that, some of your biggest wins in life. Look back, whether they were personal, professional, athletic, wherever those wins came from, you can be like, let me tell you about the losses that preceded that success of that moment that you might give me props for. Be like, way to go. Let me tell you about, like times when it didn't work out my way, when I was not so skilled, when I was not so good, and how I worked to qualify for and earn that success. That's something that I like to repeat often in the things that I talk about in Get Game Grip. I talk about you have to qualify for and earn your successes. All right, so it's not just enough to show up and hey, uh, give me success. This is what I want. It's not that easy. You have to qualify for it first. So you have to be putting yourself in a position to win. And then once you're in position, when you're playing the game, when you've developed, or you have all these qualifying components to yourself, then you're qualified for something, okay? But that doesn't mean that you win. In the games of life and love, what I want you to remember is that you can't avoid losing. So you've got to just improve your relationship with it. Um, Male, female, this is advice for everyone. Old, young, this is advice for everyone. Whatever great qualities you have about yourself, or whatever qualities you feel that you're missing, fuck it. This is still relevant to you, because we all are playing our own different games. We all want different things in the games of love. All right. Not everybody wants to experience the same experiences. Some of us are very specific, other of us are very broad, others of us have a large, long list of things that we want to experience. Others of us value something much shorter of a list, but we really value those things. So just remember, whatever game you're playing in the games of love, you will have to put yourself in vulnerable positions. You will have to often lose, and you lose more in these games than you win. And that's what, like, that's the lessons that you get from playing competitive things growing up, I feel. That's why I feel it's important, because if you have that competitive nature developed, you learn that shit. I lost a hell of a lot more than I had, like the success and the accolades. Those were very brief moments in time, but sometimes those brief moments in time are accomplishments that last a lifetime. And I think when we're talking about the games of love, let's talk about how grand these accomplishments are. How great is it when you do have that success and you make that connection with someone that you've never encountered before, and now you're thinking about all the possibilities. You had such a great connection for those moments that you were together, and now what? The excitement, right? The feelings, the crush stage, the lust stage, the passion and intimacy of a developing relationship. The successful dates, and you leave a great date and you can't stop thinking about that person. You leave a date feeling like they understand you, they get you, and they like you, and they want more of you. Um, the possibility of someone who becomes more of a committed relationship, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a fiance, a husband, a wife, a co-parent. There are all sorts of great rewards that you just have to fucking get it right one time sometimes, and that victory is just maybe the victory of your lifetime. Often, for many people, they might consider, a great relationship to be one of the greatest victories and rewards from playing the games of love, and possibly even just the game of life. Um, so, those are some really big rewards. Makes sense that you should have to lose a lot, experience a lot of pain, experience a lot of failure, and just overall the game is rigged to be experienced this way. And that's what I think where I think the power is for you. If you identify the perspective of the game is rigged, and by rigged I mean it's just the way it works. You lose way more than you win, you fail way more than you succeed, and it's like it's going to be like way outweighed 80-20. Think of it like that. Way different, ratios, right? But when it rains, it pours. When you succeed, it's sometimes such big success that it really overpowers and just makes all of those losses and those failures so worth it. So, I mean, that's what I really encourage people to think, especially in the games of love. You get so caught up in like, damn, that's a lot of failure that I'm gonna have to face. I'm gonna have to get rejected in person. I'm gonna have to get rejected online. I'm gonna have to get rejected on dates. I'm gonna have to get rejected in relationships. You know, it's a lot of rejection, a lot of pain, and a lot of failure. And you have to be able to put yourself in that position to identify that moment when, like I said, that first kiss, that great conversation, that knowledge that you're definitely getting that second date, when there's someone that you crush on, when there's someone that you're just thinking about nonstop, when there's someone that you're thinking about, asking them to move in or be in a committed relationship, or one day marry you. You're thinking those thoughts. You're thinking about a future with that person. Fuck yeah. Like, games of love. Those are some pretty serious rewards. And they pay off. They're really rewarding. And some of them are rewarding as long as you invest in them. Something to think about. Develop your relationship, your acceptance, your tolerance with losing at the games of love, and, associate with the games of life too. Thanks for watching. If you appreciated the content, I want you to show your support. Like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel because we've got a library of organized content that's designed to help you level up your game, including the 2 suggested playlists. And to learn more about our free dating and online dating resources, take advantage today and click the link below.